coming in hot.
All right.
Laura, woo, woo, woo.
Who's the king of Jordan?
I don't know, Michael.
Right.
No, Hussein. What team is he on?
Exactly. Straight up. Like the Greta knows her sports, you know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan, the greatest to ever play the game. But we back at it once again. It's life lessons of Steve and Laura. It's Steve and Laura time. Check your time because it's right now. It's all the time, man. And so what is the life lesson here, man? Time out for yourself, read, educate yourself, you know what I'm saying? Gain knowledge, put your phones down for a second, get your face in the book like Laura Winslow always does. Let's go. Laura looking fire, as always.
Hi, Laura.
Oh, no.
How's my dear sweet future sister-in-law doing? Okay.
I know, right, Laura? Laura said, all right. That's got to be the ugliest outfit I've ever seen. Now, Laura, we know that one right there. Who picked that out? That is terrible.
I'm fine, Myrtle. What are you doing in town?
Girl, I'm here on a mission of mercy. I am determined to save my beloved Edward from the clutches of that witch Greta. It's time to drop that skeezer.
There's Greta.
I'm sorry, lizard lips.
Oh, even Laura said, oh. Even Laura said, oh, I'm sorry, lizard lips. Oh, gosh. Don't mess with Greta, man. Don't mess with Greta, man. For real.
But you're out of luck. See, Eddie only dates air-breathing mammals.
Exactly.
Oh, it's you. Does your mother know you're entertaining wildebeest in the living room?
But look at this outfit, though. This is terrible. That is one of the most ugliest outfits I've ever seen in life. Not just on TV, in life. In life.
Now, ladies, let's
Right.
be civilized.
Calm them down, Laura.
Come on, say something nice to each other.
Myrtle, that is a very pretty outfit. Thank you.
Oh, my God.
That shade of yellow matches your teeth perfectly.
Boom! Boom once again. Oh, I need to walk up in there with that outfit. She should have came better. She should have came dressed for success because Greta getting her. Get her, Greta.
So you've managed to lose some weight. You're nothing but skin and cellulite. Well, I'd rather look like this than a street walking chicken.
Facts. Facts.
Call it a chicken clucking.
Facts. I said with Steve and Laura, Steve is outer, right? And inner a little bit too. He's just maturing, becoming more sophisticated, a little bit more smooth with it, But Laura's is mostly inside. She still has her hair the same. She's still a bad chick, you know what I'm saying, from the beginning to now. But you can tell she has matured a lot. I don't understand how people don't recognize that. And they're like, oh, all of a sudden, Laura just started liking Steve. It's like, no, she's maturing. She's growing up. She's even more confident in who she is. And when you get confident in who you are, I keep telling people, it's not arrogant. Not arrogant. Arrogant is selfishness and it's like fake confidence, okay? But when you really come into who you are, you start to see other people differently. And Steve in a whole new way, you know what I'm saying? But she got to handle these two right now.
Okay. Now, you two are out of control. This ridiculous fighting has been going on for far too long.
We
long
wouldn't
time.
have a problem if she would just stay in her cage.
Oh.
Look who's talking. The creature from the ugly lagoon.
Get her, Greta. Get her, Greta.
I'm gonna pull out my wig.
Get it, Lord. Lord said, y'all gonna look. Now, this is what I'm saying. Do we see the maturity? She got that mama look right now. She got that mama look working for her right now. Get this out real quick, right? Doesn't Laura have somewhat of a same type of rivalry with Myra? Kelly has some beautiful skin, man. Makeup or not, she has some beautiful skin. See, leave it be.
Myra.
Watch the guys in the background.
You look like you're ready for dessert.
Check it out. Check out these guys in the
A
background.
nice piece of cherry pie.
Watch this. Bow. So look at the dude. She got the cherry pie on the dude. Look, he's looking. A la mode. Bow. Look at their faces. Look at their faces. Look. You know who won?
Lady, stop. For the life of me, I can't understand what you see in this strumpet.
Respect.
I got your strumpet.
Exactly.
I called your strumpet it out. So come on,
Look, Laura was being very nice to you. Did you hear Laura say, "You can get out"? No. See, what I would have done is I would have helped her get out. I would have helped Myra get out. It sounds like you can get out. Like you're still giving her options. Get out.
Girls, don't fight over me.
Laura's a lot nicer.
Even though it's my dream come true.
We know it's your dream come true. But the thing about it with Myra is that it was all Myra. Right? So Laura is what she's showing here is the maturity on like, hey, this has been going on far too long because she feels the same thing with Myra. But Myra keep wanting to, not smoke with her. But that has never been Laura. Laura's never come at Myra in any type of disrespectful way. So I love that Laura's showing, her character, her high character, and her maturity.
It's too bad you two aren't guys.
Well, I do have my doubts about this one over here.
What are you getting at, Laura?
Seriously.
When two guys have a problem, they duke it out and it's over with.
That's true. That is true.
You're right.
Men do things in
right
such
here,
a way.
Right now, right
Oh, no. Look at Greta, though. So, look. Who took the first swing? Who took the first swing? Big old Myrtle. But who handling the business now? Greta. Don't mess with her. Look at Greta. Look, and you would think, Lord, it's out of control, girl. You're not doing your job. You would think Myrtle would have been able to handle Greta. All this talk, this is what I'm saying when we want to go, again, bringing up Myra and Laura, right? Laura going to give you that business. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the times, the ones that be talking, chopping, lips moving, are the ones that can't actually fight. Myrtle in here, causing trouble, and she getting handled by a woman much smaller than her. Yeah. Civilized way.
What do you mean? In a boxing ring.
Can I just bring up again how much Kelly kills this scene? It's supposed to be about the fight, but she kills this scene, man. Once again, she always does.
A duel of fisticuffs.
Cheap shot.
I'd like nothing more than to go and bang the Holyfield on his heifer.
Well, you are on, gruesome.
Gruesome.
Fine.
I just thought I'd give a little fun fact. We see Greta and there's Jalil. So, they were romantic on the show Grown Ups. Just a little fun fact. And I love me some Greta. But he didn't have the same chemistry with her than he did with Laura. Kelly!
And it's settled.
Right.
Saturday, you guys will duke it out. And may the best girl win.
Good job. These two.
Nice outfit. Been fixing cuckoo clocks again?
Oh, you.
Right. Laura's still gonna tease. She still has to be Laura Winslow. Even if she's in love now, she's a jokey joke. She still gotta do it.
Now, there's big doings down at the poker hall. We're planning this year's Poker-Palooza.
Poker for what?
Yeah.
Poker-Palooza. Why, it's only Chicago's biggest poker event ever. It's the Woodstock of poker. Now keep this under your head. But I think we're gonna get Stash Kibitz and the Kibitones.
that that unison to move that. Oh my gosh, the chemistry.
Don't worry, your secret's safe with me.
So save next Saturday for me, baby.
Why?
Don't you want to go to Pokapalooza with me?
I'd rather have a spinal tap.
Oh, but Laura, you have to go. I've been watching this swell polka dress.
Oh. Well, at least they'll be matching. At least they'll be matching. Laura, at least you guys will be matching. Okay? Some people like that.
It's even been scotch guarded to repel kielbasa juice.
That's really tempting, but I think I'll pass.
But Laura, this is very important to me.
Steve, so is my dignity.
So here we go. Now, this is what I love though, right? So this is what some people would be like, and see, that's why they're not right for each other. No, this is exactly why they're right for each other. Because you got to open up your mind and learn new things, right? But let me say this. They're both wrong here. Steve is wrong and Laura's wrong. Because Steve is wrong in just assuming that Laura would want to go. You know, but to me, Steve should have taken the time out and be like, you know what? This is new for Laura. Let me talk to her about it first, right? I'll put this on the table. That's what Steve should have done and presented it to her in that way, right? This is what I mean again when people say, Laura made Steve wait. No, there's some growing up Steve still has to do. But so does Laura here. This is, again, why I say they're meeting each other at the right time. Because Laura does have to understand that these things are important to Steve. Comfort zone, right? She has to come out of what she has always seen comfort to be, or do some of the things that you said you would never do, never, ever, ever do. You know what I'm saying? You have to go and embrace that.
If we're going to have a successful relationship, there's going to have to be some give and take here.
That's true.
That means I do everything you want, and once a year, you do one thing I want.
Sounds reasonable.
Steve, I'll give you anything else. My car, my life savings, even a kidney. Please, don't ask me to poker.
Oh, but Laura.
And isn't this interesting that Steve just assumed that Laura would be willing to do this? He picked out the dress. He shouldn't have done any of that before he talked to her first. And Steve is absolutely right. If the relationship is going to work, there has to be some give and take.
Leave this. Why can't you just be happy for me? DeAndre's just not the kind of guy I would pick out for you.
Well, you didn't pick him, Laura. I did.
Ooh.
And if you can't understand what he means to me, then maybe you're not as good a friend as I thought.
Maxine upset. Ooh, get out of her way. Get out of her way.
Well, nice to see you too, Maxine.
Exactly. You know what I liked here, though? We're going to get into this real quick because that has everything to do with Steve and Laura. But what I liked here, though, is Laura's posture was so good. Because, you know, when you sit down talking to somebody, raise up, and you're kind of in a difficult conversation, and they raise up, you raise up with them usually, you know what I'm saying? But I love that Laura kept that peaceful posture.
What's wrong with her?
She's upset because I don't like her new boyfriend, DeAndre Moore.
Well, you got a lot of nerve talking about somebody else's boyfriend. You going out with Steve Urkel.
I think what Eddie just said there is so important because I'm wondering if that's the same thing Maxine was thinking, number one. Like, you coming at me about my dude and you dating the nerdiest of nerds, you know what I'm saying? And I also think it's interesting that Eddie would say this. And remember, Eddie and Steve are supposed to be best friends, right? They're supposed to be like brothers. But the bigger thing that we have to really look at is I wonder if these are some of the issues that Laura actually still deals with on the inside. When you gotta go and you're falling in love with somebody and nobody's supporting you, everybody got jokes. Like, do you know how hard that is? You have to really be strong to go against those people that you love that are not supporting who you love. They're not supporting that. And so I wonder if that's still some of the issue or the friction that Laura has within herself is because nobody's on her side. And it's the man that she's grown in love with, and she has to defend herself with the rest. That's some of the stuff that Laura's dealing with.
Serious, Ed. Get a bad vibe from this guy. I don't want Max to get hurt.
Excuse me. Oh my God, Eddie, I'm a drunk runner.
No, you're not, Max. You had no idea what was going on. It's okay.
Maxine didn't have any idea what was going on, but Laura Winslow did. That's why sometimes you have to listen to your friends, even when they say hard things.
Hello, Laura.
Here's
Hey,
Max.
Max. Come in. Have a seat. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead first. I'm sorry, Laura. Oh.
I love it. I love friendship. But the one thing that I really wanted to point out here is Laura apologizing. And if you look, just think about it. What does Laura have to apologize about? What did she do? But this is what I'm saying. The high character of Laura, that she is willing to go and apologize to bring peace, right? But she was not actually in the wrong at all. She's trying to warn Maxine. She doesn't know exactly what it is, but she gets a bad feeling about the guy. She tries to warn her best friend, and her best friend pops off on her. And Laura still comes to the peaceful circle with an apology. That's very important when it's connected to Steve and Laura. You know, you know what I'm saying? If you're putting it together. So one of the things that Steve loves about her.
I should have listened to you, Laura. You're my best friend and a great judge of character.
Important. I just love this. When you have good friends. Maxine said, you're a good judge of character. Talking about Laura. You're a good judge of character. Right.
DeAndre had me totally fooled. Believe me, I wish I had been wrong about him. Me too. You know what? This is a problem only 2 scoops of Haagen-Dazs can solve.
As fine as DeAndre was, I'm gonna need some hot fudge and some nuts on top.
Oh, goodness. Steve and Laura finally, and they in the thick of it. They're actually in a relationship. I love how Steve said, because I think again, just words you never heard him use with Myra, you know, is that, hey, if we're going to have, let's check it again. If we're going to have a successful relationship, I think that goes a long way. Because I don't think he ever even presented that to Myra, right? You saw, you know, all y'all, man, Steve, Laura was so mean to Steve, and she was so mean, and Steve just dealt with it. One thing that you even see here in this scene, and I'll show.
Person, and I have feelings, and I demand to be treated with respect and dignity.
You're right.
What?
Ooh.
You're absolutely right.
It's not a good idea, is it? Right. Uh-huh.
No. No. This is my crime.
It's his problem.
Not Stefan's.
No.
You got back at him all right. And in the process, you ruined the party I worked my hiney off to give it. Not to mention hurting those young ladies' feelings.
So as you can see, Steve stands up to Laura when he thinks that Laura's out of order. He will stand up to her. And that's what I'm saying when it comes to Myra. And you're like, but they were perfect. And they were perfect together. Yeah, because Steve actually didn't stand up for himself. Because when you're in a relationship where people are manipulative and controlling, you pick your battles more. You know what I'm saying? And some of them you don't pick, you let them have their way because really you just feel like it's easier. But with Steve, he knows he can step to Laura. He knows that he can do that. And you see in some of these little scenes, Laura does respond positive. Here's the other thing that I want to look at. When, you know, with Steve, like I said, wanting to go polka dancing and not recognizing, number one, it's something Laura has never been interested in doing, you know, and it's something new. And there's 2 ways you can respond to something. You can be intimidated or you can be excited, right? And so I think you see in this situation with Laura, she's actually intimidated because these are new things. These are things that Laura Winslow herself never thought she would see herself doing. Laura didn't even know she really saw herself with Steve. So there is a big challenge that is happening there. And I think people just have to understand that anytime you're going into something new and you're doing something new, there is an adjustment period. And so that is what you're seeing out of Steve and Laura right now, is an adjustment period. No, things are not, seem to be. See, with Myra and Steve, it seemed to be perfect, right? Up until Steve started to think for himself. Then what? Now she breaking up, playing games, trying to get him sued, getting Steve and Laura locked up. They won't let me, getting these people locked up, you know, for foolishness. But here's the thing that people just have to recognize about, like, sometimes, again, you have to give people time. And this is why I think that, Steve and Laura are just amazing for each other, because Steve also needs time. He needs time to understand, like, okay, I understand. This is stuff that you got to think about it. These are things Steve has probably dreamed about, Laura and him going polka. I mean, literally, like, probably have dreamed about. So he's bringing since all the rest of this stuff that he's already said, you know, is coming to pass, he gonna keep making it happen, you know. But you have to understand the adjustment period, you know. And there's sometimes I'm gonna let Darius Daniels speak right here.
People assume that because I don't have it by default, I'm not supposed to have it. False, not true, trash. If you don't have it by default and you need it to succeed, that means you're supposed to get it by design. Some stuff I've got organically and automatically. I don't have to learn it. Other stuff is going to require intentionality. I do have to learn that.
So powerful what he said right there, because I think that is what's happening with Steve and Laura. Like, there's some things that you just know and that you just, you have a gift for, or, you just know it, right? There's other things, like he said, that you have to have intentionality. I have to learn this. I have to learn to apply it. I have to study this. And that's what you're seeing with Steve and Laura. And that's what you're seeing, more so with Laura. It don't mean that Laura don't have the goods because she has to work at them. Why do we do that? Why do we think that Myra had more of the goods? Because Myra, some of those things came natural, but you're going to say that Laura's less than because she has to work for the goods, right? This you'll realize about this whole life. You'll realize about this whole journey. It is all about, well, first of all, God, okay, first of all, and who you are in him, but it's also about character building. It's about becoming your best self. It's about becoming that person that you never thought you could become. You know what I'm saying? So to sit here and just say, oh, well, Myra was better because Myra had those certain features, maybe easily, and I don't even think it was that. I think Myra, played possum half of the time, and we never really truly understood who Myra was until she started acting out, and then it's like, oh, that's who you are. Okay, I see you. But it's not a foregone conclusion, like he said. Matter of fact, it's a trash mentality to think that somebody is less because they got to work harder for it. You know what I'm saying? Or they got to work at it. And that's when we start to, devalue each other. Because we look at it and say, that took you 20 minutes? Oh, no, it took me 5 minutes. Oh, that took you that. I got that naturally. We start to devalue the person. We start to devalue, the character building. And that's what you're seeing. And what is so beautiful about Steve and Laura, that they're character building with each other. Steve did not character build with Myra, and Laura did not character build with Stefan. There was no growth. It was stagnant. It got boring. It wasn't going anywhere. And that's why we got to understand that sometimes confrontation and sometimes friction, it means that you may be going to another level. That's in anything in life, right? Friction on the job, friction with the goal, friction with friends. It could mean you're about to go to another level. You know what I'm saying? And that friction is an indication of change. Because you're projecting things or you respond with your emotions and not logic. It is not logical to hold 21-year-old Laura to stuff she did at 14, 15, 16. That is not even logical. She is a different woman. She is growing and maturing as well as Steve is. Wouldn't it be a sad day that we all stayed under the judgment of what we did when we were teenagers? Because I don't care what y'all say. You're beautiful. You amazing because God created you that way. But I know you ain't perfect because the Bible says the only perfect person that ever stepped foot on this earth was Jesus. So that means you are not perfect. That means you need grace. That means you need forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? And so when we come out here and we go out these ways with Laura, it's like it doesn't make logical sense to say, you know what? She wasn't good to you at 14, 15. So no, Steve, you shouldn't start a life with her at 21, 22. Where's the logic in that? I see the emotion, but where's the logic in that? Now, we have to give people grace. Now, you may say, well, what is the same thing with Myra? The reality of it with Myra is Steve outgrew her. Well, never really loved her, but he outgrew her. Why is Laura in Steve's face right now? Because she outgrew Stefan. Laura has not been perfect towards Steve, but that doesn't mean that he's not a part of her purpose, right? And Steve, maybe still needs to learn a little bit, slow down maybe even a little bit. Maybe he's a little bit too eager, but just because he makes some of these mistakes or Laura makes some of these mistakes, it doesn't mean that their purpose has changed, right? One of the most beautiful love stories ever, because it really is a love story about grace and about growth and about maturity and about patience. But yeah, love God, love people. May God bless you. May God keep you.
It's the murder